Baby, ti win him some affair. My fiscal safe mano. Ebi ano ebi. Chocho mucho. Yeah, what's up? This is your Chocho Mucho Bless. Keep watching Odate GHTV. The best you can find. Bless! Hello guys, welcome back to your daily entertainment bars right here on Odate GHTV. Please, if you are new here, kindly subscribe to this channel and also click on the bell icon so that anytime I drop a new content, you'll be the first to be notified. Stay tuned.
Well, I did, and I
thought you were going to say it's your last album. Mr. Mahat, it's your last album, Sese.
No.
You can't tell us that, too.
No.
Like the way we go ship you for here.
Yeah, there are still, older artists recording, and for a musician, your lifespan is not limited to years, So we're still here, we're still pushing, yeah.
But what advised a reggae album?
The fact that I am a reggae artist, inspired by reggae originally before anything else. So before I could create any music at all, everything I heard was reggae. So writing, I came from that angle. So then I told myself I have to Africanize my reggae if I'm going to be writing reggae. That's what created African dancehall. That's what I thought I would describe my style as. So coming up, I've always promised my fans I would do a reggae album eventually. So on to the 7th album, I thought, okay.
Please speak up.
On to the 7th album, I thought, okay, 7 is a lucky number. Why not do that reggae album for them? And then I realized I had about 30 reggae songs already done that I needed to just select from. Eventually, we came down to 22 reggae songs on one album. But the inspiration behind it was that I needed to fulfill that promise to myself and my fans that I owed myself and the industry a reggae album, a complete reggae catalog that would fill that void when it comes to that content, because there's reggae out there, there's festivals out there that I know that I can go there and mash it up, but I need a lot more of some content when it comes to real reggae and not just Afro dancehall or Afrobeat or dancehall. So then I said, all right, let me put in as much good reggae as possible on this album and throw it in there so that those platforms will recognize that, okay, there is still that side of him very, very active. Yeah.
But weren't you skeptical about the release, thinking that will Ghanaians accept it? Will my fans be okay with it? Will it sell? Will it affect me? Did you have all of these?
I thought it was the right time, because every album I do, I have 1 or 2 reggae songs on there, and the kind of reception I get from people when they're talking about those songs and how much they want me to be doing more of those, I knew that they wanted that. And then I tested waters with my own, and it went down with the people. So I was like, okay, I think they're ready for reggae. And then I followed up with Oba. Then I followed up with Rainbow, and then Obra, and then now Ragadada. Yeah.
So now Ragadada is the thing.
Yeah, that's the last single I released off the album. And
how do you feel when you're called Ragadada?
Well, it feels good, because that's like the street part of the reggae. When you're able to raga and toast, that's the street part of it. So it's a credit that I think is due. We used to listen to radio, and if we hear you doing any sort of raga, we will come there and then try and battle and see how it goes.
This was an album that didn't feature any artist.
Yeah.
Why?
I wanted to stand out as a Ghanaian reggae
so it was
artist.
deliberate.
Yeah, it was deliberate, and then also Loud City inspired that I keep it like that. Loud City is a Grammy-nominated reggae production house that were excited working with an African reggae artist for the first time.
Oh, really? So you are the first African artist?
Yeah. To actually work with them on a whole album. So actually inspired that I even do most of the harmonies myself, because they heard my harmonies and thought it's unique that you are singing everything by yourself. So let's keep it like that, and then throw in a few female voices here and there just to, spice up the album. But most of the harmonies on the album were mine, most of the vocals and, the lyrics as well. So they just left me and encouraged that I do me, so that the world sees what happens when an African is left to stand alone doing his reggae. Because Lucky Dube didn't necessarily have to feature anybody from anywhere, but he stood out. Same applies to
Bob Marley,
Raskimono, the rest of them. Name them. If you're mentioning their iconic tunes, Alpha Blondie, they didn't have to feature anybody. So I believe that I am capable of standing on my feet to do my thing, put it out there, and it will take me where I need to be.
I see. You just confused me. So with this album, now a lot of Ghanaians are advocating 100%. Let's play 100% Ghanaian music. Let's play 100% Ghanaian music. Now with a foreign production house like Loud City, which they've produced almost every huge artist in the world. Busy Signal, Elephant Man. Who else? The other time I was listening to some songs and I chanced on a song, a rhythm you wrote on, and Busy Signal had already done something on it. And I was like, whoa, these guys are super. So working on stuff like this, when you hear that, oh, let's do 100% Ghanaian music, 100% Ghanaian music, do you have a feeling it may affect you and your production?
No, because I said African dancer. I do my reggae, and this is a Ghanaian doing this reggae. And we've had Boga High Life that was recorded in Germany, but it's still Ghana music. It was recorded and finished by Bodo Steiger for decades. But it's still, if you say play 100% Ghana music, that's what you will play.
True.
So if my reggae was recorded by some Ghanaian producers and American producers and finished in America, it's still a Ghanaian production and Ghanaian music. So I'm not, shook when I hear that. I'm actually excited when I hear that. And all I need to do is to put in more material so that I get some airtime.
Speaking of Bodo Steiger, unfortunately, he passed on.
Yes, I saw.
How did you hear the news?
I was sad. I saw it online. I've actually worked with him before because I got the chance to work with Ofori Amponsa on the Ojo song. And we went to Germany together for the World Cup in 2006. And then we went to studio to finish that song. So one thing I admire about that man was the fact that after everything that he was doing, he rode the bicycle to the studio and rode it back home.
Whoa.
Yeah, he wouldn't drive to studio because he said that he would rather exercise. He had all the money, he could afford anything he wanted, but that style of him is what I remember, and it fascinated me because this was 2006. I was just 2 years into my first album, so I was like on a tour, on an excursion into Bodo Steiger's legendary studio and setup. And I got to spend time around him, He's my kind of guy, really. He's a white man, but he's a Rasta man as well.
Yeah. Oh, he was Rasta.
Yeah.
He was Rasta.
Yeah. Bodo Steiger.
If you know, you know.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
Oh, but I thought...
R.I.P.
Oh, Charlie, I thought you would work with him on certain projects, but unfortunately...
Unfortunately, I wasn't doing the kind of music that he worked on as my main project. I did features on people's songs, so my voice went to his studio different times, from Keche Kwame Apiadems to Paso Lumba. Exactly. So then when I went there in person, he was also excited to see me because I've worked on your voice so many times. I like your voice, and I think your voice is like 3 or 4 in one. So that's what he told me that fascinates him. When I yell, he hears like 3 or 4 different tones. Like there's a harmony mix already.
Okay.
So he told me that about my voice as well.
Whoa. Let's listen to... No, forget the fact that you are my friend. Samini, you are great.
Thank you, boss.
No, seriously.
Thank you, boss.
Thank you, boss. Look, when I paid attention to this song, I was like, this guy is... Yo, you are super.
That's it.
So, I don't know how you think when you put pen to paper. I remember I saw you had this jotter where we met somewhere.
Yeah.
When I took you out and we spent too much time.
Yeah.
That evening, I saw your jotter and I was like, so how does this guy write? They were not even full. You just write something, then you leave it, then there's another page.
Yeah, this was before we would get smartphones to type lyrics on notepad.
When you put pen to paper, what comes to mind?
I want to be as clear as possible to my listener. I want my listener to get what I'm saying, and then also I want to be able to fascinate my listener with some wordplay that would make you go home thinking, how genius, could he put that together? So I don't like to be too rigid. So sometimes I don't really write. I put down a few notes here and there, but I like the free flow.
Okay.
And then, I like to allow the music to take control. Yeah.
You've never won Songwriter of the Year. Of all your deep writings and your melodies and how great they are.
I know. That's why there was the argument about songwriter and what actually entails a songwriter. And I think it was a laudable argument because there's a lot of people that don't know what a songwriter is. Because there's a songwriter, there's a musician who knows how to write the music. And then there is a lyricist who has good lyrics and punchlines. Mm-hmm. But that lyricist might not necessarily know what do, re, mi, fa, so means and what they do. And so those who write that do, re, mi, fa, so part of music, they are songwriters.
Okay.
They write the melody. They know that the thing you are hearing, they know how to write it and read it. So if you skip those people and say songwriter is lyricists that's how come certain people would want to cry foul and say you would rather want to expand the definition or check what it takes to call somebody a songwriter. But nonetheless, I think everybody that's won Songwriter of the Year in Ghana is 100% a good lyricist. Yeah.
I see. Do you get disturbed or sad if you don't win or you are not awarded with such you don't have such honors?
I think I've been around for too long. I've experienced award shows for too long to be emotional about awards at this level. See, I know what awards do for the up and coming. I know what awards do for the reigning. And then also I know what awards mean when you've seen it all, done it all. So I don't really get moved. A nomination is fine for me because that means you're still part of what's happening. But who deserves to take it home sometimes depends on a lot of factors. Sometimes you've been there, done that. You're a veteran. You deserve what's happening. But then you also realistically know that there's times and people's peak seasons and people's time to shine where you have had before, you've seen, and then you know that during that time when you were awarded, it meant a lot to you. It did a lot to your ego. It did a lot to your personal self-esteem and everything. You would rather pass it on to that person because you know psychologically what it would do to that person. Brings you back to Artist of the Decade. They gave it to Sark. I thought Sark deserved it, even though I thought I deserved it too. I would gladly take home that plaque, but looking at what Sark had done within that decade in review and everything else, and what I think that award would do for him as well as an artist, and at his level, I've been there before.
Right.
I would gladly love that, that plaque. So good for him, and I was happy. Yeah.
I see. All right. Now, let me skip to your upcoming event, Samini Fest.
Yes, sir.
It's been around for how many years?
Yeah, it's been around for 5 years.
5. So this is the fifth year.
This is the 5th year.
Then it must be this is going to be what 6
years, but this is the 5th edition.
The fourth edition in 5 years.
In 5 years, right?
So
it's going to be huge this year.
Yeah, I anticipate a huge one because this is the first time I'm doing it in Dansuman, and this is the year of
home. You're taking it home.
We're taking
so
it
it's
home.
the year of
year
return
of
for
return
you.
edition. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I'm bringing it home, and it's going to be annual at home this time.
Oh, really?
I've always thought of Samini Fest as a Dansuman thing, but I needed to, put it together and then bring it home. So I thought year of return is a perfect time, a perfect concept to ride along with and make sure the people understand the importance of having something celebrated at home. Mr. Logic himself and the rest are all veteran danceman artists that we grew up on, and people like that will understand the importance of me bringing that thing home.
Okay.
And this is the time. So Samini Fest is in Dansoman. We're blocking Dansoman High Street from Friday evening to Sunday morning. So if you've heard it here, just know. Yeah. Unfortunately, I will block the road. But we have we have access. Yeah, we have access routes. We have permits. I mean, we've dealt. I mean, we've seen the municipal assembly. We've seen Dansoman police. We've seen the local chief. We've taken notice and letters to wherever we need to take them, and everything has been approved. So we're good to go for Samini Fest 2019. Yeah.
On Sunday.
On Saturday, 21st is the show itself. But from Friday